So, but let's move on to your Miami Dolphins. They just got Minka Fitzpatrick back, which was crazy. They also added Darren Waller, which is a very interesting signing. I'm curious to see your thoughts on that. But I mean, yeah, I mean McDaniels, he's been there, for a handful of seasons now, and it was really fun in the beginning, but I'm kind of getting the sense that it's getting old, right? Like everyone is starting to pick up on how to stop this offense. The Tua, Jalen Waddle kind of, dual threat with, the speed. They also got Achane in the backfield. Which he's very productive. I mean, I will say that. You have a very productive running back in him. But then you have Tua. He's one good hit away, man, from I don't know if he wants to be out there anymore. So but how do you feel about your Miami Dolphins this year? Do you see playoffs this year?
Painfully agony of being a Dolphins fan. I love the Fitzpatrick. I like getting rid of Ramsey. There's probably a good chance they're going to get Russell Douglas that played for Buffalo last year, play corner, which I'm okay with that. Ramsey comes with a lot of prima donna, but Fitzpatrick's a huge upgrade for them at safety. When we traded him, it was part of this steamroll of trades that we did, which worked out. But, man, I think that's big to get him back there. The guy plays strong against the run and the pass. And they did well with Kenny Grant with signing, but they're always a victim to injury over the last year. Last year they used Jalen Phillips and Chubb, and then we get to see the emergence of Chop Robinson. But they got to stay healthy, like you say, with Tua. I like Tua. If Tua could literally, I was talking with somebody else about this. If Tua could throw the ball 10 yards further, just 10, no matter what everybody says, he is an elite quarterback. The guy can throw any throw in any tight window. Man, I'm telling you, but it's proven when he's healthy.
Hold on, Carlos.
When he's healthy, look at his stats. He's one of the top 3 quarterbacks.
You're putting Tua in top 3 quarterback talk.
If he could throw the ball 10 yards further, that's it.
If Jameis Winston didn't throw 30 interceptions a year, he could have been a great quarterback. There's an asterisk next to every quarterback, Carlos.
There is, but I'm just saying he is. I think he's one of the better quarterbacks in the league when it comes to his passing accuracy. He throws a good ball. It's very catchable. The problem with him, one is concussions, but we can't stop that. That's just his name. It's part of his genetics, I guess. He can't take a hit. But the guy is going to probably, and I hate to say this, he's already said he will die on the football field. He loves the game that much. But you're right with McDaniel. This offense has to evolve a little bit. I think when you have all the pieces in play and you have that offensive line like he had in San Francisco, he has the running back stable. They have the wide receivers. I don't even hate the Darren Waller. When Darren Waller plays, he's a good tight end, and the guy's in phenomenal shape. He just ran a triathlon and came in the top 10 or something. So he's not in bad shape.
I hate to cut you off, but did you see the clip of him and Gruden going over his rap video? Dude,
no,
it was awesome. Gruden got so into it. I love John Gruden on the internet. Yeah, the internet era of John Gruden is fantastic, and him and Darren Waller, when they were in the same room listening to Darren Waller's music, was awesome. It was so awesome. you gotta look it up.
Yeah, they're an interesting team for me. It's gonna be a wait and see. I don't know. They could literally go 7-10. Or they could go 12-5. There's that much of a gap between this team.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the Beard Zone. Tua is a elite quarterback, but they could go 7-10.
Come on, man. It's injury.
Come on.
The last couple of years, they've had big injuries.
Yeah, including
if Baker Mayfield goes down, what's the Bucs record? He goes down week 1. What's their record for 5-12?
Maybe if that, yeah.
maybe if that. So when they're losing, and that's the
Yeah, but
problem with
that's
the
the
Dolphins.
quality of their backup.
It is.
It doesn't show anything about Okay, so you're telling me right now, I'm going to ask you a question. Would you take Baker over Tua?
Well, that's a tough one.
I would say in a
I would
heartbeat.
say I would take Baker, yes.
Okay,
Only because he's not going to get injured.
so
Hopefully.
you're gonna say I'm a Tampa fan, and you're gonna say that Baker is a top three quarterback.
No. I said if he could throw the ball a little bit further, if they could develop him some arm strength, but it's not going to come. It's not going to come because if it ain't there now, it's not. But as a pure passer, Tua is better than Baker. Putting the
Carlos,
throws where they
I'm
need to
trying,
be.
Carlos, I'm really trying to help you out because last
I'm
week you
not.
got
I'm not.
absolutely put in a
I think
chokehold
he's
in the comments
better.
last week with the Bengals. So I don't understand. But what you're saying is Tua is a great quarterback, but here's the big asterisk. He has to improve on his arm strength. He has to improve with his health. It's like, yes, if any quarterback in the NFL improved in certain areas, they would probably move up into an elite quarterback
Yeah, but you're
status.
not. But you couldn't say that about some. If Zach Wilson could, I don't know, he could use a lot. Maybe not hang out with people's moms. He would be better. But I'm talking about just a little bit. Tua is a very good quarterback. I think he's one of the better passing quarterbacks in the league. If you go back and look at his stats when he's healthy, this guy week in and week out is putting up huge numbers. I He just has to
He
stay
is
healthy. But the
accurate. I will
Dolphins,
give you that.
but last year, if you look at it, they lose Chubb, they lose Phillips, they lose Waddle for part of it. Tyreek Hill has a lingering injury. They were bitten by the injury bug so much. I don't know if McDaniel could run the offense the way he wants to run. When Jonnu Smith's your brightest point with A-Chain, I don't think that's a recipe for wins when Jonnu Smith's lighting up the scoreboard for them. So, but for the Dolphins being the Dolphins, it's painful because you know that the hopes is that they're going to be better. On paper, right now they look pretty good. To me, they look like a 10 to 11 win team and a playoff team. I don't think they're a division winner. I think they're a wild card, but that could easily change very easily with a couple of injuries like they had. They're one of the more injury prone teams out
Yeah.
there, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the heat, it's their training. I don't know what it is, and I think the Dolphins lack one other thing that they desperately need is tough leadership. I don't think they have it. I don't think McDaniel's that guy. He's more a
McDaniel's the
philosophy
fun
guy.
uncle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I don't. I think they need there has to be that somewhere. I don't know who that guy is. Brian Flores was too much of the military type. That didn't pan out well. But I think, like when you think of guys, I think like an Andy Reid, very tough, but it's relaxed. But everybody knows they got to do their job. That's what worries me about McDaniel. I think he's a great offensive mind. I just don't think there's any leadership there,
Hmm.
and I think that could bite them in the butt. But we're gonna find out. On paper, especially this defense, it's better than what I think it. Most people are not giving them credit for. Zach Sealer is a beast at the defensive tackle. This guy's come into his own. Kenny Grant should be good. Bradley Chubb, we know what he can do. He just was out all last year. And Jalen Phillips is a freak of nature. And now we have Chop
Jalen Phillips
Robinson.
and Chop Robinson had like 6 sacks last year, so I mean he wasn't like super underproductive. Um Phillips though, man, when you guys felt it when Phillips went down.
No, he
Like
did. He,
big
he puts
time.
a lot of pressure.
And you also felt losing Wilkins there in the middle.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And I think they get it back with Kenny Grant. I think Kenny Grant brings back the Wilkins part with Zach Sealer. They're I'm not a huge fan of the 3-4 defense. I just not my cup of tea, and that's what they run. But a healthy Dolphins team is going to give the Bills a run for their money, I believe. I don't think the other two teams are there yet. I don't think they're that good, but they could challenge them if they're healthy. Yeah, and they have good battles. When Tua was healthy and before he got the really bad concussion against Buffalo, those teams went back and forth, man. Those were good
They
games. We're
did.
talking
Yeah,
really good
especially
games.
down there in Miami. So, but I mean, I guess time will tell. I actually have them going second in the division